Even like working with each other, or even liked each other. And in April 2001, we secured a small business loan from a bank in Brixton. And the truth is, if it wasn't for Sam and his business's epic fail, he and I would never have spoken, we would never have met, and we would never have started Livity. And the rest, as they say, is history. 15 years of ups and downs, success and failures, failures and success, and so much learning. I've always suffered from imposter syndrome, as has Sam. We used to call ourselves the Chancers, actually only until recently. So you know the one where you kind of don't believe in your own success, you always sort of think you're going to get found out, you kind of think you're blagging it. Are there any imposters in the room? No, we were all really... Oh, there's one. Yeah. But it was during my sabbatical that I realised for the first time that I actually had achieved quite a lot to be proud of, and maybe for once I should give myself a break. So, if I took a sabbatical to search for myself, did I find myself? Well, on day one, I looked at my phone a lot, on my emails. On day two, I asked my IT guys to come round and lock me out of my emails and not tell me the password for 3 months. On day three, I wrote a list of things to do on my sabbatical. Learn a language. Sort the spare room out. On day four, I tore up the list. Maybe I just needed to be for once. Maybe I didn't need a to-do list. And on day 5, I took a deep breath. And it was wonderful. I read for the first time since I'd had my daughter in 2004. I took my dog for lots of walks. I did a short photography course. And I was there to be fully present and celebrate my 2nd wedding anniversary. I grew vegetables and fruit, and I took pictures of them because I'd done that photography course. And I went on a yoga holiday on my own. The first holiday I'd had on my own ever. It was amazing. Where I rode a horse for the first time. I hung out with my husband in his studio, and I just got a whole new appreciation for what he does and how hard his art is and the process of being an artist. And I took some pictures of him. And I got published by Article magazine, so if there's any creative directors that are looking for a photographer, I'm a woman. I was a chaperone for my daughter when she was in a short film made by some Goldsmith film students. And we travelled around Italy for a month, when my dad joined us. The first holiday that I had with my dad since that time back when I was 15. And I hung out at the RHS flower show with my mum and daughter. And I went on another yoga holiday, because the first one was so great. On my own again, where I drank green juices and red juices. And I got to know my brothers. And towards the end of my sabbatical, I was able to be fully present to settle my daughter back into school, her last year in primary school. It was wonderful. It was restorative. It was healing and it was mending. And I looked a heck of a lot better at the end of it than I did at the beginning. And I learned a lot about myself and life. I learnt that failing is inevitable, you can't escape it, and that from fails, good things can come. But failing is not the end of the world. So did I find myself? Well, the truth is, it got more difficult before it got better. Going back into the business last year was a complete nightmare, but that really is a whole other story and talk. What I knew though, when things felt so bad last October and November, was to be patient. And it was a year ago, exactly today, since I took my power back and engaged with the business again. And it's really nice to be here with you to share that anniversary and everything I've learned during that time. And the patience paid off. It did get better. And I'm happy to say I'm happy. I'm probably happier than I've ever been. And I'm grateful that I came out in one piece. And actually, I know that I am better for it all, for all of those fails, for all of that trauma and hurt. Because by creating space, it enabled me to understand and make sense of the fails that have shaped me. Heck, I can even feel grateful for them now. And I learned that in the midst of failing, if you can trust and be patient, you will learn something. You know you will learn something. And that the hurt of the fail can feel less painful and traumatic. So, if we know this about failing, then it's really great. There's a lot of narrative, I think, around about failing at the moment, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. It's inevitable, it's inescapable. You learn, you evolve, you find new ways of doing things. It drives creativity and innovation, and that's all really brilliant. Then how can we make failing a better experience, with less risk of fallout and personal injury to us? Because success might come from failing, but surely we owe it to ourselves and those that we work with to get there in one piece and to get there joyfully. So I've told you how I think Livity was built on fun, faith and friendship, and when I look back, I think that they were also the aspects that contributed to creating the right conditions for failing in Livity. Fun, throughout the ups and downs, we always have had a laugh. I think there was another session on that laughter is so important, and it's so true. Having a sense of humour can really take the sting out of the fail. Faith, you've got to have belief in what you're doing. And I think it's essential for creating the right mindset for failing. And an environment that feels friendly or full of friendship has been invaluable for creating the right space in which to fail. And in 2014, lots was changing in Livity, and I realised now that I couldn't then feel any sense of fun, faith, nor friendship. And I think that's why the sense of failing had become so hard. And I've also realised now that there were two other crucial F's missing that were perhaps stopping me from creating the conditions for effing great failure. We need to help others to feel fearless, to give it a go, take the leap. And to be truly fearless, we have to get rid of that imposter syndrome that I talked about, that feeling that we're winging it, that we're blagging it. I think that imposter syndrome is incredibly unhelpful to creating great failing. And this is the one that I think really gets overlooked. To protect and build resilience, we need to encourage an environment of forgiveness. I just don't believe that it's emotionally sustainable to keep on failing, fail after fail after fail, without feeling the negative consequence of that at some point. Okay, we know failing is good, but it can't just be me that thinks it feels bloody awful in the moment. In order to be able to reflect, in order to be able to move on, and truly learn from our fails, I think we have to find a way to forgive those people who have been a part of our fails. And even more importantly than forgiving others is forgiving ourselves. But it's essential if we are to reap the benefits of failing and keep our resilience and our energy topped up and ready for the next fail. So please, make space and forgive yourself. In fact, I'm going to ask you to trust me and, more importantly, trust your neighbours and shut your eyes for a moment. I'm going to ask you to think about that big fail that you can't forget about. That big fail that you can't let go of. That one that makes your heart beat a little bit faster, a little bit louder. The fail that makes your cheeks burn when you think about it. And when you're ready, I'm just going to invite you to forgive yourself. And when you're ready, I'm going to invite you to open your eyes again. So do be kind to yourselves. You'll be kinder to others for it. And so, if and when you fail or lose yourself, accept that it does happen. And when you're ready, stop. Start searching for yourself. Start understanding yourself. What drives you? What are your passions? What are the big fails and lessons in your life that have shaped you? What are the clues to understanding you? And do forgive yourself. And please be patient, because you will find yourself again. You will recover from the fails. It might take time, but do keep on keeping on.